Hello, welcome to the Loan Officer Sales Training with the Mortgage Calculator. Today we're going to be talking about building trust with clients. We'll wait just a minute here to go live on all the different platforms. As you tune in, feel free to drop a comment there and we'll get started in just a moment. Hope everybody is having a great and productive week so far. I see some comments already coming in there. Definitely appreciate it. And it looks like we're live on all the different platforms now, so we will go ahead and get started. As you tune in, keep dropping comments there. Drop any questions you have there in the chat as well. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions here as we go through the presentation. So with that being said, let's get into it here. So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I am the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, and this is our loan officer sales training that we do every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, where we go over more of the sales end and the front end of doing mortgages. Today, we're going to be talking about building trust with clients. Now, some of this stuff is a no-brainer. I'm sure some of you know, but hopefully we can give some new insight into it. And it's always good to refresh on this kind of stuff. So I've got a couple slides here to go through. Now, of course, building trust with clients is extremely important, especially at the Mortgage Calculator. We deal with a lot of leads. We deal with a lot of people online. We deal with a lot of people we haven't necessarily met in person. So it's even more important to be able to build that trust and know how to build that trust over the phone, over email, over whatever it is, text. It's not as easy as meeting someone in person, feeling that comfortableness of, I know this person, I met them, I shook their hand, right? So for some of us that work with a lot of leads online, this is very, very important. And so we'll go through here today. So first off, be genuine and live the profession. So what do I mean by live the profession? Well, as a mortgage professional, our number one goal and job is to help our clients. We are in the business of putting people in homes, making their dreams come true, or giving people money when they need it, when we're doing things like cash outs and HELOCs and HELoans, or making their dreams come true and allowing them to make money with a fix and flip loan or a DSCR loan or whatever it is, right? We're making dreams come true in a lot of different ways. And that's what we need to do. And we need to act accordingly, right? That's what our job is. Also, as you remember from your mortgage school, our job is to always have the best interest of the client at heart. So we need to really take that in. And that's the first step to building trust with our clients, is looking to ourselves to make sure that we're really living, eat, sleep, and breathe this profession, this business for the right reasons. We're all in this to make money. This is one of the best industries there is to make money. Extremely high paying, especially if you're, active and closing a bunch of loans, if you're good at it, right? But that's not why we're in it, right? We have to have that higher purpose. We have to genuinely live the profession and live the life of being happy and excited that we are able to provide people with solutions to their problems, whether it's needing a lower rate, needing cash out, needing to purchase another home, needing to be walked through how to purchase their first home and absolutely making their dreams come true, or needing you to help them purchase investment properties to build wealth for their family. The number one builder of wealth in this country is real estate. So we're opening up an opportunity for people to support their family and build wealth for generations to come. So we're very blessed to be in this business, because everyone that you'll ever meet is a potential client. And when we succeed at our job, not only do we get paid very well, but we get a lot of satisfaction when you have those clients. Jose just talked about it yesterday on a training, how by the time his deals close, he has his clients trying to take him out to dinner and stuff like that. As you know, normally the realtor would say, hey, great, I'm so glad you gave me your business. But if you're properly doing your job as a loan consultant, you'll have people that thank you, that literally tell you, you allowed us to make our dreams come true and put our family in a home. And that is the best feeling, even better than a check. And I know some of you might sound corny, but it really is. And if you can really take that heart to heart and genuinely live that in your life, it will make a huge difference, because it will show through to the client. It absolutely will. Now, the second bullet point here, speak to your clients on a human level. You're both people, right? We're just people. We don't, we need to be formal, especially at first, and we don't ever want to be unprofessional, but, we want to talk to them as a person. We're both people here. We're both humans. We both go through the same type of stuff. When you're first talking to a client, you're human just like them, and you usually don't like people calling you out of the blue, or even if you filled out something on a website, you might not necessarily be expecting a call right then or whatever, so they might be a little off put at first, but at the end of the day, if you got to understand, like, well, that's how I feel too when random numbers call me, or when somebody calls me about some kind of sales thing, or whatever the situation is, right? So understanding their problems, even showing your human side too, right? You don't have to be a robot, a professional robot at all times, right? As you get further into the relationship, you can share personal things that may be applicable to the conversations, right? So just remember, they're not a lead on the other end of the phone, or just a dollar sign, right? They're a person, they're a human that we're speaking to, that we're trying to help out. And sometimes, especially online, you almost treat them like a number, because they're just on the other end of a phone. They're in your CRM as one of your thousands of contacts. But when we're actually working with a client, just remember to relate on that human level. And part of that is the next bullet point, which is matching your client's energy. We've talked about this on, the call trainings. It's important to match your client's energy, meaning that if you call them, obviously when you call people, you want to be excited, right? You want to be upbeat, excited, but you want to match your client's energy, because if you're super upbeat and excited and they're kind of down here and like, oh, I don't know, it's gonna seem very salesy and I guess corny would be a word for it, where it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you're hyped up and yelling when the client is way down here. You're way up here, the client's way down here. It's just not going to mesh well. And it's going to seem very, like I said, salesy, of you just trying to push something down their throat from your sales training, right? Everyone knows people have sales training and that they're supposed to be upbeat and all that kind of stuff. So it just starts to, it starts to show through more as salesy. So I'm not saying to start going, if your client's way down there, but just don't go crazy, right? We want to match our client's energy. If they're super upbeat, happy, excited, we're going to keep being upbeat, happy, excited, right? We're going to try to match their energy a little bit, which is going to help us relate to them on a human level. And also the next bullet point, build rapport, right? So obviously that's the best way to start to build trust, is building that rapport. That's essentially what you are doing, right? Now, when we talk about building rapport, for example, if you are I know not everybody is a real estate investor, but if you're a real estate investor, or maybe you're in the process of becoming one, or maybe you are wanting to be one, if you're talking to investors, which a lot of our clients are, you can start to relate to them. You can, we did our training this morning on the BRRRR strategy. If you have you should be looking up that strategy anyways, but maybe that's what your goal is. Maybe that's what you're already doing. And that is something that you can totally relate to on a personal level. Yeah, I actually just got a short-term rental, or I'm about to get one, or whatever it is. These are things where automatically they're like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. They're using their products themselves, or about to, or whatever the situation may be. So that's always something good to relate to with investors. And also, of course, just regular clients, obviously talking to them. And then again, this is where you can be on a human level. This is where you can be talking about, your kids, or whatever, interests and stuff like that, and build rapport with them. That's not going to usually necessarily be on the first call, but as you build that relationship, those are important things to keep yourselves on a human level. You know what else you can do is you can become Facebook friends with these people. It's really cool when you're Facebook friends with a client and you are, inserted into each other's personal lives, right? So it's definitely, something where, like, now that you're their mortgage person and you're on their Facebook and they're seeing your children or whatever, they're seeing you on vacation, they're seeing you at events, at mortgage things. So that's another thing too, that when you're actually dealing with a client and they're happy, and, you could always say, hey, could I friend you on Facebook? I'd love to keep in touch with you, or whatever. So that's also something, and that helps you build rapport automatically, because you're both have your personal life inserted into other person's personal life, right? You're their mortgage loan officer, but now you're on Facebook commenting congratulations when they have a new child, right? I mean, this is really going to keep you in the loop, keep you top of mind, not just in a salesy way, but going back to my point, speaking to your clients on a human level, working with them on a human level, communicating with them on a human level, just like that. It's a perfect example of, now we did a deal together. Now we're Facebook friends. Now I'm going to comment congratulations when they got married, or when they had a new child, or whatever. Now they're super personal. It's a super personal relationship, and a lot of rapport built there on those type of things. So now, earning trust. Notice I said here, you get the trust that you deserve. You have to earn the trust, right? It's not just going to come. So the last slide we talked about, how to earn that trust, the different ways. But you got to understand, you're only going to get as much trust as you deserve. If they don't trust you at all, that means you haven't done your job properly of building that rapport and, all the kind of stuff we just talked about, right? So just understand that it's not going to be handed to you. You have to earn the trust. Whatever trust you're getting is the trust that you deserve from the work that you put in to build that trust. Now, here is a big point. This is probably one of my biggest points here for today. Be there to take the lumps. What does that mean? That means when things go wrong, you're there, right? When things go bad, when things get delayed, you're contacting them as opposed to them contacting you. Or if they do contact you, you're answering the phone right away. Now, what I mean by being there to take the lumps is a lot of people don't answer that phone. I mean, we literally have loan officers where, we get a call to the office saying, hey, something went wrong with my loan, and the loan officer is not answering the phone, and the loan officer they just don't want to answer the phone because they don't want to deal with the issue. They don't want to get, yelled at on, the issue, right? And that's why I said be there to take the lumps. Even when a client is upset, I mean, they may even be cursing at you. Now, I'm not saying it's okay for clients to curse at you, but sometimes you got to kind of take it, because if you're there to take those lumps and take responsibility for any issues, and just take the beating, right? When they're upset, and they might get even, like I said, they're yelling or cursing, excuse me, or whatever it is, what's going to happen at the end of that afterwards is that they're going to naturally trust you a lot more. Some of the best relationships that are built start out with being confrontational in the beginning. And it's going to be how you handle that, when things go wrong, how you handle when they're upset and, yelling at you or whatever it is, because those type of people, they may say something went wrong, but if you're there, if you're proactive, if you're even apologizing, if they know that they can call you up and ream you out, right? That's just what some people do. Some people just like to do that, and a lot of times they like to know that they can get upset with someone and still work with them. So again, I don't want to say you have to be, harassed or berated by clients, but that's just naturally going to happen because everything that can go wrong in mortgages will go wrong, right? This is the most complicated, regulated industry out there for the most part. And so there's all kinds of things that can go wrong in the process, and we're dealing with hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. So it's not a seamless process. It's not a perfect process. All deals don't work out, all appraisals don't work out. I mean, there's a million things that can go wrong. So as long as we're there to be proactive when things go wrong, as long as we're there to, when they call us upset about something, we're going to kind of take the beating. I'm telling you, it will create a better relationship and more trust and rapport than somebody that never happened with. Because they know when things go wrong, they can get a hold of you, and things are always going to go wrong. So they know, hey, at least I can get a hold of this person. At least I can get the anger off my chest, and they, understood, and still, they stayed professional and they got the job done, because then they kind of feel vindicated too. Like, okay, well, I got upset, but they got it done, and I know I can count on them. So I'm telling you, it's a big thing. So we've had plenty of trainings on making sure that you're proactive and reaching out to clients when things go wrong. We've had trainings on how to make sure that when you're presenting options to your client in the first place, you're even discussing the possible things that could go wrong with this route. And then if that happens, then we could go this route. And so when we're doing our job properly as a loan consultant, we should kind of already have some of this worked out of, we talked about this may be an issue if the appraisal comes back at this, that, now we could switch to this other program and it's going to be 5% less LTV or whatever. But remember, we talked about this. We were prepared for this to happen. So hopefully you can, get rid of a lot of that by being a loan consultant in the beginning. But again, stuff's going to go wrong. It's not always in our control. People are going to be upset. We are their point of contact, so they're going to be upset at us. They don't have the underwriter's phone number or the investor that's actually, putting up the money for the loan. I mean, we're the point of contact. So if they're upset, there's only one person for them to talk to. Some of the times they might really be upset. They might yell, they might curse or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, I've seen it time and time again. Some of your best clients you'll ever work with, may have issues in the beginning. If you're there to take the lumps, to take the beatings, it's going to build a lot of trust for the future. Now, the next bullet point here is transparency and education are key. So going back to what I just said, education as far as telling your client, educating them on this is how this program works. This would be the pros and cons. If it doesn't work out for our situation, our second choice would be this. This is how this program works. This is why we would use this. So educating them in the first place is going to be key. And when you're transparent and you're educating them throughout the process, they're going to trust you. Right now, what's great about the mortgage calculator is we're very transparent and open with our rates. I mean, we do a show every single day showing our actual rates for all of our products. Well, not all, but all the general products, right? What could be more transparent than that? We have a page on our website that has the actual live pricing every second of every day that the public can see. Your clients can price out their own scenarios right on your website at the Mortgage Calculator. Every one of you has the pages on your website for them to not only see the rates for that day, but to price out their exact scenario themselves if they want to. So you have the power to use that transparency to your advantage as well by sending those links or discussing that with them and just being transparent on everything all around. That's going to build a lot of trust, being transparent, being upfront, being open, and educating them. And that's at the end of the day, that's going to surpass interest rates or costs or whatever it is. When we're transparent and we're open and we're educating clients, all that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is they want to work with us. And that brings me to the last point here, which is, who would you want to work with? So when we're talking about building trust with clients, let's turn it back onto ourselves and just think, who would I want to work with? What kind of person would I want doing my mortgage? Now, I'm sure a lot of you, if you were doing your own personal mortgage, you would probably feel the most comfortable with Jose doing your personal mortgage, just because he has 28 years of experience and he's super big on being a loan consultant, and he's probably the best loan consultant around, in my opinion, right? But at the end of the day, that's the type of person you would want to work with. Somebody who is familiar with guidelines, someone who is going to educate themselves on the different programs so that they can educate their clients on the different program. So try to become who you would want to work with. If you aren't reading guidelines on different programs, if you aren't taking every training possible and learning about everything, you're not who you would want to work with. If you're doing your own mortgage, you're going to want to work with somebody who has, taken all the trainings they possibly could and knows everything they could and knows the in and outs of all these different programs, and whatever scenario comes at them, they go and do the research and look at every possible option out of our 130 different lenders and investors. I mean, that's the type of person you would want to put your loans in the hands of. And so we need to look within ourselves to say, how do I become who I would want to trust with my loan? And if you really embrace that, I think it will put you in the right mind state of, yes, sometimes trainings are boring and sometimes it's a lot to do, but at the end of the day, that's the type of person you would want to work with, that's always on trainings, that's always learning and growing. And when they get a deal, they're going to research every single option for you. You're not going to want somebody who, and some of you may have done some loans before, but you maybe didn't take it all the way to scouring every option. And there might have been a better solution, a better rate, whatever it is. So I know when I'm working with someone, I want them to know what they're doing and to be proactive and to be, a great loan consultant. And so just ask yourself that every day. Am I the loan officer that I would want to work with myself? Right. And at the end of the day, we can all get better, we can all grow, and we can all learn. So that should be a continuing question to yourself is, have I become the type of loan officer that I would trust with my own loan? Okay, I see a couple of questions here, possibly. Let's see, such valuable tips you're providing. Thank you so much. Facebook friending makes you that human. Exactly. Let's see here, effective communication, integrity. Thanks for sharing your experience. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being a part of it. All right. Excellent information. Thank you so much, everyone, for the comments. I'm glad that you're getting some value out of this. So just remember, just to recap here, we're going to be genuine. And one of the biggest things here that I want you to take away from the training, just to recap, is to live your profession, to be genuine, take that to heart. And I'm telling you, for the newer loan officers out there, once you get those first people thanking you for changing their life, it's going to really kick in that that's what you're doing this for. And it's going to show through when you're talking to clients and dealing with clients. I mean, it just does. It's just the way that it works. So nobody knows the science of how it comes across, but it does. It absolutely does. And then the other main point is like I said, be there for the negative. I guess I probably should have made this be there for the negative as well as the positive. It's going to make a huge difference in your business if you're there to take the beating when you need to. You are there to even accept responsibility for things that aren't necessarily your fault, which most of the stuff in this business, ends up being, an issue with the appraisal or underwriting or whatever the case may be, right? So I'm telling you, that's a big thing as well. So hopefully, and then the last takeaway is also the most important. I want everybody thinking about that every day. Are you becoming the loan officer that you would want to work with and put the largest transaction of your life in the hands of, just like you're asking your clients to do? All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, 12 p.m. Eastern every single weekday, we do this training where we go through the front end of the mortgage process. New cool topics to go over tomorrow and Friday as well. So make sure you tune in. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate you tuning in. See you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern.